Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. Hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and again a lovely New Year. Um, People feel different about New Year. A lot of people celebrate it December the 31st and the 1st of January, and some other people celebrate it the end of March, beginning of April with the spring and different things happening. We choose to do a bit of both. We choose to have a little celebration on the New Year's Eve, and again we watch the new life and celebrate the new year with the birth of spring. So whichever way you do it, I hope you have a lovely 2024 ahead. Today I'm actually working on a glut of sweet chestnuts. Now local, the Food Initiative Stroke Food Bank had a glut of the sweet chestnuts, and not many people were taking them because they didn't really either have a need for them, know what to do with them, or the facilities to actually use them. And Margaret said if you can use them then take them. So I've never really bought fresh chestnuts to preserve, to make a recipe myself before, and I thought, I'm going to save them from landfill and I'm actually going to have a good play with them and see what I can learn to do. Originally I thought I might be able to do what people do with conkers, and make some laundry liquid, but there's no chemical in the sweet chestnuts that's in the conkers, and that chemical is saponin, and that's basically what makes it frothy so you can wash your clothes with. So these are purely on the edible side. They can't be eaten raw because they don't taste very nice raw at all. So you need to cook them in a meal of some sort. Now at Christmas we like horse chestnut stuffing. We've had it for a number of years now and our boys love it. Mr. Wallflowers loves it, and I really enjoy it too. So we're looking at doing some variations of a hot chestnut stuffing roll wrapped in pastry. So out of the freezer, I'm trying to clear what we've had in the freezer. So things we bought from the Food Initiative in 2023, I want to try and replace and keep those dates moving within the freezers. So I'm going to use up some of the pastry out the freezer, and this is some mincemeat. I couldn't decide whether to use the sausage meat or the mincemeat, so this needs using up. So this is rose veal mince. We're going to use that and do a roll. But first, the work starts on the chestnuts. So what we have to do is boil them up. Well, before we actually boil them up, we have to score the flat side of the chestnut, and as we boil them, the skin releases and opens up, which reveals the nut inside, and it's much easier then to remove the excess skin that actually clings to the nut inside, so you can actually have a clean nut. Now I had been chopping and prepping and thought maybe I could actually remove it myself, and unfortunately I've not been successful. Occasionally some of them are coming off, but not all of them, so I'm going to have to come up with something as to how to use these. I also had an attempt at roasting some of the nuts, but unfortunately, again, with being a novice at this and not doing it before, I'd actually chopped them up, and they still had the brown skin on. Now these have actually gone rock hard now. So I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get the brown skin off. I'll see if I can blend these up and make a powder and still use them. I'll see if there's any way around it, whether it's just a matter of rubbing a damp cloth on them or which way round it goes, but I'll keep working. So I've already chopped up approximately 12 bags and I've got about another 28 bags of the chestnuts to work through. So I want to get as much as I can out of it. Unfortunately, I presume they were harvested August, October time, and a lot of them have deteriorated inside because the worms can get inside them, and they just end up mouldy, as you can see. So we filled up bowl after bowl of waste so far, and I've probably gone through approximately half of the bags, so there'll still be an awful lot of waste, I presume. So here we go. So I'm looking for the flat side of the chestnut, and I'm literally scoring an X. Now, I did hear a trick about doing this, and I have attempted it, but I think I may ruin the plastic tub. So I'm looking for the flat sides. That one's too shallow. Let me find a more bulbous one. So I'm looking for the flat side and score an X in. But because this is a top of a bottle that I'm continuing to use to store my water in, I don't really want to deteriorate the top there. But if you have water caps, pop caps, things that you can afford to lose, and maybe it's a good idea because you're not messing around if you're losing your grip on it, etc. I'll rinse that through before I put it back on my water bottle. And gradually now I'm just going to work my way through as many of the sweet chestnuts, scoring them, putting them in, and then I will bring them to the boil for approximately 15 minutes, and then we can start removing the shells, and hopefully the skin will come off naturally too as well without causing me too much bother. I would like them to be fully clear nuts, and I'm looking forward to making this recipe. Veal, stuffing, chestnuts, all wrapped up in a nice puff pastry, and I'm really looking forward to that. So let me work through these, bring it to the boil, and we'll come back for the next step. Okay, so I'd set the timer, I'd boiled them for 15 minutes, and I've allowed them to cool down slightly. Now is the time to peel them. So I see the outer shell is coming off pretty easy. It's not staying whole. Well, this first one isn't anyway. Maybe I need to be a bit more gentle. I'm just hoping the skin is easier for me to peel off. Now, whilst I was cutting the others apart, quite a few of them were bad inside. So I'm not sure. These look pretty much okay. Now, I know one thing you have to look out for is worms, because worms get into them whether they end up lying on the floor, or I think the worms actually scale the trees as well. So I'm not too sure about the darker colours here, so I'm going to leave that to one side. And I have a whole pan of them here, so I'll just be working my way through. I've decided it's pretty late here this evening, so I'll make this video part 1, and then we'll come back tomorrow with part 2 of the video, and we'll do the chestnut sage and mince bake. And I'm quite looking forward to that. I made a lasagna in place of this because this was going to be this evening's meal. So as you can see, it's still quite intricate work. to try and get the peels off. If you know any quicker method, because as you can tell, I've still got, some of these are bad inside, I've still got a lot to work through. So if you have any chestnut recipes to share with me, this is the juice I've drained off from boiling, and I've just left that to one side because I'm going to research is there any use for that. If not, it'll get added to the compost and I'll take it from there. But if there's another use, then I'd be glad to hear from it. So that's how you cook sweet chestnuts. And now I'll be left with the arduous chore of peeling them, trying to get the skins off and seeing how many are good fruitful sources of nuts. And as you can see, it's few and far between. But these were left as a last resort for a food initiative or food bank scenario. So hopefully if you pick them fresh, if you have a sweet chestnut tree by you and next year you pick them fresh or you buy them fresh from a market or from a supermarket, etc., then hopefully you won't have as many rejects as I'm coming across. But I'm prepared to do this, even if we only get half the supply as the end result. They haven't gone to landfill, and I at least get something out of it. As you know, everything we manage to salvage for free or at very low cost, we're very appreciative of it and we feel blessed. So we'll get sufficient because we've got quite a quantity.
Waste not wanting.
But there will be a lot of waste as well. But that will go into the compost bin and hopefully break down pretty quickly. Okay, I'll carry on with this. As you can see, some are staying whole. I'll still try and remove, I want to call it the pith. I don't know what you'd actually call the skin coating inside a nut. I know it's called pith in fruit and nut is a fruit, so I'm not sure. But I'll carry on, and by the time we come back for tomorrow's video, you'll see how much I've been able to salvage. I think I need a minimum of 100 grams for the recipe I'm about to bake. So, wish me luck. Okay, stay safe, remember you're loved, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.